Morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much for joining. And I'm super grateful that I can take this opportunity actually to introduce myself and the tribe a bit more to you guys. I recently started it, already have a member, so I'm super excited to have her joining today. Unfortunately, she won't be able to join, but I have lovely Julie joining me, and of course, Sophia. And everyone who's watching live, thank you so much. And if you're watching the recording, of course, hello, welcome. So I'm Christine, and I'm going to tell you a bit more about myself and about the tribe and how I got into this Sacred You community, which is so lovely with everything I can already see all the time. And now the Harmony Fest coming up. So lots and lots of things to do, but also lots of amazing things happening. So I'm originally from Germany. I live now in Italy. I have lived in the UK for 10 years, and then I moved to Sweden, and now I'm living in Italy. So all over the place, but it doesn't really matter because what I do is everything is online. So I know there's a time difference, but I guess at the moment with all the time shifts as well, then we're going to change time again. at the end of October, actually, in Europe. So there's going to be a bit of maybe a time difference again for people in Australia and also in US. I'm the founder of the Creative Startup Academy. So basically, I'm supporting entrepreneurs, mainly solopreneurs, in the first 3 years of their business, because it can be quite overwhelming with everything that's involved in starting your own business. Focusing also on low and no cost marketing, because I've done that for a decade before I started almost 12 years ago, my entrepreneurial journey, and also helping with the work-life balance that every entrepreneur should have, but probably doesn't. Also me, I went through that, and I already was invited to share, and that's how I was introduced basically to Sophia. I was able to share my story and the happiness formula with you guys in the Shining the Light on the Community. And at that point, I was already in awe with what Sophia is doing with this community. And I said, I need to join. I checked out, obviously, because of the time difference. I wasn't thinking of maybe joining too much because most of the things are in the middle of the night for me. But then I continued the conversation with Sophia, and we said, why not starting a tribe? And I was like, that's interesting. And that will help me to fulfill my passion even more and supporting even more people that might need some business support. And that's what happened. So I joined finally. There was some holidays in between. So afterwards, I joined as a tribe host and created the Successful Soulpreneurs Tribe. And this is what we are talking about today. And this is basically happening always on a Tuesday at this time. So for me, it's 9 a.m. here in Italy. So if you're anywhere in Europe, that's for you as well. At the moment, as far as I know, that's 6 p.m. Australian daytime. And then when I go back an hour, I don't know what that means for you then. Is that going to be 7 p.m.?
Yeah, we'll go. If you go, it depends if you stay the same time. What time is it now for you?
9 a.m.
Right, so if you stay 9 a.m., we'll go to 7 p.m.
Okay, so then that will be 7 p.m. And I know there's another amazing Empowering Entrepreneurs Tribe. So I'm sure you benefit from that already as well. That's going on for a while, started by Sophia and now was taken on by someone else. And that's also amazing. So you have two tribes that specialize basically on supporting you with your business, and they're at different times, so you can join both, of course, if you like, or see which one works better. And we both bring our knowledge to you, so that will be amazing. And let me tell you about
Tanya's here.
the Money
Yay,
Intelligence Code.
Thanks for the reminder.
Hello, thank you for joining. Sorry, what's your name? Because at the moment, otherwise I call you the Money Motion Intelligence Coach. But
Oh, look, that's what happens when I'm rushing and I don't get to change everything. But my name is Tanga, and it's actually, you wouldn't get it anyway because it's spelled T-A-G-A, and it does get a little bit confusing.
Tana. Okay, thank you. Welcome for joining. So I don't know what you've heard, but so far I just introduced myself, and I was just going to start what this tribe is about. So I call it Successful Soulpreneurs because I believe all of you are doing amazing things, and you all should be successful, and whatever that means to you, because success means different things to different people. We're talking about business because it's about generating money and profits as well, of course, because we all need to pay our bills. And if you want to have this as a business and as an income source, that's what I'm here to support you with. In this tribe, we're going to go through all kind of different things. And we're going to do a bit today as well of that. And usually, I mean, once the tribe is growing, we will have also a breakout room, the breakout sessions and things like that during the tribe. But it's basically here to support you with business processes, productivity, getting the work-life balance you need. So not working 16 hours a day, not working 7 days a week. I've been there. I've been in that trap. And Sophia is laughing because probably that's what she's doing at the moment with the Harmony Fest. But then, yes, you will survive. It's just a few more days. And then, yeah, we see how this evolves, because I want to see what the tribe members struggle with the most, to then be able to take that on and help the members to go through those challenges. And I'm a very hands-on person, so I will give you probably how-to videos for whatever you need. I will give you specific software that you might want to use that helps you with certain things, and again can explain how that works. And really step-by-step things. I'm really good at looking at the whole thing that's quite overwhelming and reducing it just to the next thing you need to do, rather than thinking about everything that needs to be done, which is usually what's the overwhelming bit. But if you look at, okay, this is my vision, this is where I want to go, and then we break it down into smaller things, and then, okay, let's take it on the next step. And it's running weekly. I mean, there's just like 3 dates this year where I won't be able to do. One is also at Christmas time, but otherwise, that will be a weekly tribe. So we will also use the moon cycles to set intentions or goals, or whatever you want to call them, to make sure we use that energy as well, and not just go along saying, I mean, everyone can do it as they wish, but that's something that I would like to introduce as well. And also for myself a bit more. I've been living in my personal life a lot with the moon cycle, but I haven't attached it too much to my business. But so this is also a bit of a trial for me, and I'm very happy that we go through this together. And Tana already said, Julie also said she works with the moon phases, so that's amazing. And that's what this is about. I would like to start off and asking maybe you've done that before, Julie and Hannah, what's your internal weather today? So how do you feel? And if you describe that with like the weather situation, tell me, is it cloudy? Is it sunny? Is it a sunset? Is it a sunrise? Is it stormy? Tell me, Julie, do you want to go first?
I tell you what, I think I've been through all of that today. I've had the cloudy, the stormy, and I'm actually in the sunset right now, like physically. But yeah, I've felt all of those cycles today, to be honest. But it seems to be completing with the sun rising, which I'm very, very happy about.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, I know, because we had a little chat before we went live. Actually, I know what happened and the positive thing. So you were in Iceland today. I don't know if you've ever been to Iceland. I have been. There's 4 seasons in one day. It's stormy, it's icy snow, and then it starts raining, and the sun comes out, and it's all of that. So great. Thank you. Thank you for
You're
sharing.
welcome.
And Tana, you're new to the moon cycles as well, so that's great. I'm going to explain a bit
Yeah,
more.
I'm
But
a
how is your
complete
internal weather?
newbie. I'm a complete newbie. I go as far as, wow, that's a big moon. That's it.
That's okay. That's enough already. But tell me, how are you feeling today? What's your internal weather?
Oh, it's been, look, it's actually been, it was a little bit overcast this morning, and I was feeling a little bit sad because I missed an interview this morning for about an hour, and I had this whole people pleasing thing going on, so I felt bad that I let down the person, all of that started to happen. But then the sun peaked over because I had my first one-on-one session with a client in 8 weeks, because I've just gone through some surgery and things like that. So I'm really coming through that. And the sunrise was just beautiful, because following that session, which went a little bit longer than I had planned, but there was just so much that came out of it. And I had to sit in the sun and just really take in some vitamin D afterwards, and just really felt that going into my body as well. And I've just come to my room to sit through this, and it's very warm and quite bright outside. So yeah, so energetically I'm still feeling like I'm in the sun, but it's beginning to settle behind the clouds.
Oh, thank you. Well, that's okay. I'm in the sunrise mood, I think, because for me it's like 9 o'clock in the morning here in Italy, and I'm just super excited to be here, to talk to you, to get to know you. Can you remind me where you're based? Because I mean Julie, because we talked before. But Tana, where are you actually?
Yeah. So I literally just moved in with my son and his partner. My husband and I have just moved in with them, which we're becoming nomadic now. So we're actually in Brisbane, Australia.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
I've been to Brisbane. And Julie?
I do that all the time. I'm in the Blue Mountains in New South Wales. So we get 4 seasons in a day as well.
I see. There you go. That's why you're located there. And I know that Sophia's multitasking in the background. Of course, if you would like to share, feel free to share what your internal weather is like at the moment. Probably quite rocky waves.
No, at the moment, I'm saying just at the moment, not this morning. At the moment, it's actually pretty good. I'm excited. I'm back to having fun. Yay. So, but the internal weather, that's a good question. What's my internal weather? Sunlight. Lots of, like sunlight after the rain. There you go.
After the rain.
Sunlight after the rain.
I can literally see that. Yeah, lovely.
I'm excited.
Lovely.
This morning was very dark and gloomy. Very dark and gloomy. But now, no, I'm excited. But yes, just multitasking all over the place. We're starting tomorrow, lots on, getting organised for tomorrow.
I know. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, thank you for sharing, all of you, because that is it's really amazing how we also go through those different phases and weathers throughout the day. And I think that shows, if we, there's sometimes days when we get up and it's like, oh, everything's going to go wrong today. Everyone, I think, has these days. And then you start seeing all the things that go wrong and nothing works. And then it just goes down a spiral. I think if we remind ourselves, okay, I've been there before, and I know at the end of the day there was sunshine after the rain, for example, then that can help us as well. And Julie, could you share with us and everyone that's also watching, what you actually do. I know you also a tribe host, but in general, if you share a bit more about yourself, that helps me as well.
Yes, I have a few things that over the last 3 decades I've brought together. So I'm a clinical aromatherapist of just over 30 years, and with that comes my artisan botanical perfumery, astrologer of 27 years, and a witch all my life. And I bring a lot of that into, I bring them all together. And I'm also the creator of a beautiful oracle deck that I'm very, very proud of, called the Fragrant Oracle, of course, because it's all to do with perfume, natural perfume.
Amazing. Is that, where can people get that? Just selfishly asking.
They can find me on Facebook or my website, julienelson.com.au. And and I've also got the Bewitching Tribe with
Exactly.
Sacred, which I love, which is on a Friday from 12:30 to 1:30, always at the same time in Australia, whether we're in daylight savings or not.
Thank you. It's lovely.
Thank you.
And Tana, tell us a bit more about you. I mean, I can guess from the title, but in your own words.
Yeah. So for the last 2.5 decades, I've been working in the finance industry. Not so much finance, but more financial capability. So I'm a financial counsellor is my background. So rather than the end of the spectrum where you've got financial planners and advisors, I'm on the opposite side. So I work with people around the connection between the mind-body connection with money, and how that's impacted through trauma. So it's a trauma-informed lens, and we really delve into different systemic traumas. That could be ancestral, it could be capitalism, it could be consumers, all of those types of things that might be blocking us from really expressing and receiving money. And we bring that together. I'm literally, as part of this Harmony Fest, launching Plony, Your Money Bestie, where we're bringing a little bit of fun and gamification into money literacy. So it's really about dismantling a lot of patriarchal shame that has been the financial literacy as we all know it globally, and really reintroducing the inner wisdom that we have, so we can shore up our money behaviors. So it's bringing together all the mind-body connection as well as money literacy in the one area.
Lovely. Thank you for sharing it. Are you a member of the Sacred You community?
Yes. So I do have Soul-Led Money Tribe that I run.
Okay. So amazing. Other tribe hosts here. I've seen that one actually. What day is that on? And what time?
So for us, it's every second Sunday, Australian Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, so that's 8 a.m. And that's regardless of time change as well. I'm like, Julie, I keep that the same and just adjust myself. It's easier.
Lovely. Thank you for sharing, and thank you for joining as well. Exciting to have 2 other tribe hosts here as well. And everyone who's watching, if you haven't joined it, the community, I think it's so worth it. And you can join all of these amazing tribes if you would like. And there you go. Julie also says she wants to get into the tribe, however, not an early bird, because it's early.
I am a member, but I just can't do the mornings.
Yeah. I noticed actually I need to speak to Sophia about it. I haven't had any of the replays popped in there. So yeah, 100% I get that, Julie. So hopefully soon.
We'll speak, but your tribe, because it's private, like if we do the replays, but we don't put them in the main there, we put them on a separate page. So we'll talk about that. But
there you go. So everyone who's listened and hasn't joined any tribe, if you haven't joined any tribes, and also my tribe, there will be recordings available usually. Yes. So even if you think you want to join a tribe and there's no recording of this one.
No,
probably.
but we're going live. We're going live. So no,
Yeah,
we're live.
there's the recording on Facebook.
So
It's a bit different. So because
just,
this is not an official tribe meeting, this is to introduce the tribe and just show how it works.
Yeah.
But in the future of also for my tribes, there will be all the recordings available in that area. For today, obviously, it's all special anyway, because we're launching and it's kind of a pre-launch tribe introduction. Yeah. Right, great. So,
sorry, can I just introduce you? Interrupt you. Beatrice Boots, who's part of our Harmony Fest, great, is watching.
Hello, Beatrice.
She's saying that she said, I think when we're talking about the all the weathers, having all the weather conditions, and she's saying, me too, all the weather conditions have passed. So
thank you for sharing, Beatrice. I have been in contact a bit with her in messages as well. Thank you so much for joining as well and watching this. Great. So, Tana, I know you're new to the moon cycles, and I'm not going to give a whole lesson now, because that's not what it's about. But just to understand, the moon does have certain powers. I mean, if you look at the tides in the sea and everything, there's so much also scientific research behind it, and it's not just like, ooh, we have the moon and it's influencing us. It's really like that. I mean, if you think about it, how much water is inside of it, it's ridiculous to think that it doesn't have any power over us. And that's since I started maybe 2 years ago with looking more into that, also of course doing some rituals and things like that, but just even to see your energy levels and assessing, okay, how am I feeling today, maybe with internal weather exercise, or just in general like a mood tracker, whatever you want to do. And if you start looking at the moon, where it's at the moment, and then there's obviously, and Julie knows more about that than me, but there's then influenced also by other planets and also the star signs and things like that. It all makes sense, and it's quite scary how accurate it usually is. So it's really interesting, and I thought, at least in this tribe, what we can do is we use that power to basically achieve our business goals. Okay, and we're in a good phase, because at the end of the week, so for me in Europe on the 14th, I think for Australia it's on the 15th, New York will be also on the 14th, we have a new moon. And the new moon phase is when the moon is pretty much, you don't see it, let's say. Okay, so it's the dark moon, the new moon, whatever. You have the full moon, you have the so let's start from the new cycles. Basically, you start a new moon cycle, usually lasts more or less, and Julie, please correct me anytime if I say something wrong, but lasts more or less always like a month, around a month's time, so 30 days, a bit more sometimes, depending on that.
Yeah, the moon travels through each sign approximately every 2.5 days, so yes, it can vary a little bit, but about I know this, 28 days. Yeah,
but it's about a month, more or less, let's say 28 to 30 days. Each moon cycle, so meaning from new moon to new moon, because we have different things in between. We have the new moon, we have there's many more. We have then the crescent moon, then the first quarter, and it all goes down up to the full moon, and then basically it all goes down again. And we can make use of these. I'm just going to put my hot water bottle away because it was a bit cold this morning here in Italy, believe it or not. It's going to be 30 degrees later. However, so basically now the new moon is coming up. What we can do is we can use that to set new intentions, new business goals. And we're going to talk a bit more about goal setting also today, and make use of that energy. Because it's basically all, and just to give you, Tana, an overview, and maybe everyone else who doesn't know, but in the new moon, basically it represents a new clean slate, a new beginning. So a lot of times people use that as well for new habit building or anything like that. But in business, I would like to make use of that to create a new goal that you want to achieve during that moon cycle, and then you can go through that. And then you have the waxing moon, where it starts to grow, and it will channel your energy into taking initial steps. So basically that's where you start planning, and that's why I do this also on a weekly basis, because then we can really do this, because more or less every week will be a new state, let's say, in that kind of stuff. And then at the full moon, usually, I mean, it all made sense. So many people tell me they can't sleep well just a few days before the new moon, and they have so much energy and they don't sleep well. My mom has always said that. And it makes so much sense, because basically it's leading up to completing tasks, to complete some projects, and you get all this extra energy from the moon that you can then make use of to really finish off some projects as well. And then basically begins the phase where the moon is, how do you call it? Waning. It's waning moon in English. And there it's basically letting go of certain things, think about this, maybe evaluate how it went and what you can let go of, what didn't work well, and what you don't want to do for the next one. And then you can start again. So again, we're in the new moon phase towards the end of the week. So I want to go through some setting goal exercises as well and see. And I'm not going to use SMART, which a lot of people do, and that's okay. I mean, it was traumatized, I think, from corporate world, where they always use that, and I don't want to use that. So I have a different one that I use. But first, I would like to know, maybe if you can think, Julie and Tana, if there's any specific goal for you now that you want to achieve over the next, let's say, 30 days, the next month or so, for your business. And I don't need it properly formulated.
Yeah, just to give Tanga a heads up and an idea. So right at the moment, because we're still in the waning phase and we'll be hitting dark moon shortly, so I'm still in the process of releasing. And sometimes we don't know what we need to release. So you just trust the process. And sometimes we know exactly what we need to release. When we hit new moon is when we want to bring things to us. So for me, one of the things is that I am writing a new course. So I am very keen to get that. I don't have to write it. All I have to do is put some point forms in to give the structure, and get that out there to run it perhaps just before, November, or I'll wait till January. So that's one thing. I've got a few things, but because I've been doing this for many years, I can run a couple of things side by side if this is your first time. And so I hope I'm not interrupting, but it's choose one thing.
Yes.
And then a lot of people tend to release on the full moon, and it seems to be a very more modern thing to do. For me, way back when, it's always been that last boost, just because the full moon is only but a second or two. So that last boost just before you hit the full moon, and then you can start the releasing and letting go. So, and then dark moon, rest, contemplate. It's like the winter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So
I've given you one thing.
Thank you. So writing new course, did you say, basically, that you want to?
Yeah, actually, I don't, as I said, I don't need to actually write it. I just need to put the structure in place. Yeah, so that's on my thing. Yeah.
Okay, and what will that be about?
I'm bringing in goddess archetypal energies, because I work a lot with goddesses, and really teaching people like the difference between evoking and invoking. And I want to work with what people call the dark goddesses, and they're like our shadow aspect, which is our power source. So yeah, it's going to be a 3 or 4 part series.
Okay,
all focused
thank
on,
you.
and I'll bring in the astrology and the perfumery and ritual and all that.
Lovely, lovely. Thank you for sharing.
Thank
And
you.
Tana, is there anything specific you would like to achieve, to create, any specific goal that you would like to do?
So I do have a question around the moon phases and the
Yes.
letting go and the new moon. So are we talking about complete projects or just even a phase of a project?
Yeah, also the phase, it doesn't really matter too much. I mean, you can complete something, or you have a big project that you chunk into smaller milestones, let's say, and then, because you can't say, oh, you have to rush through something just because the moon is completing. I mean, you don't have to do that at all. It's just to introduce that maybe as a new idea, to combine that with the business things and to make use of that energy, which will help you on your energy levels and things like that. But it's worth chunking it down. Okay, realistically, in the next 30 days, that would be probably the next milestone. And people call it task, milestone, goal, intention. It's really, it doesn't matter what label you want to give it, but it's to complete a task, let's say.
Yeah. So the prototype that I'm developing for the app is now at the phase. So I'm working with the minimum viable product at the moment, and so the next month is really about bringing in early adopters and subscribers. So in terms of what I'm letting go of now is the basic structure to launch it into getting early adopters, if that makes sense. So it was really interesting you were saying that, because I'm at that place where I was ready to go, and I'm like, great, this is good. I'll do all the assets to link it in. And then I've realized, wait, I haven't even done a landing page for this thing. That was last week. I had the big, I'm like, how could this happen? The landing page, where am I going to refer them to? Anyway, so that's all been done. I've tested it out with a couple of people that are my ideal audience. And that's all been redone. And yesterday was the deadline. I actually said to myself, I am not going to bed until these little bits and pieces are done, because I had some final feedback, which was really critical for me to change it. So I'm really quite happy to be understanding this shift now, and then going into the new phase by the end of the week, because that's where I wanted to launch the early adopters phase as part of Harmony.
Lovely, thank you for sharing. And there are so many things in there that entrepreneurs go through, and I mean, especially if we're talking about the software, but also even with the service that you offer, if you want to create a course or whatever it is, because there's so many. The MVP, the minimum viable product, if people have not heard this term before, is basically a mini version, a basic version of what you want to do, to be able to be flexible enough to then change things around and adjust things according to feedback before you launch the full, let's say, end product. And I think that's a really crucial step with every business. Even if you want to launch an online course, a specific track that you want to lead people down through, even if you want to write a book, you can get some feedback on some early ideas. It doesn't have to be a fully fleshed app even, or a functional app. It might be, in your case, it is that way, let's say a basic app, but it can be just a specific structure where you go through questionnaires and get people go through a user journey. I know of people who've done it, or who've done their Post-it note app, so the app on Post-it notes, and got people in to get them through the user journey, to see, because we are usually so wrapped up in our bubble. First of all, we are so in love in what we're doing, so that we don't hear a lot of times things that are not working well and might not want to adjust it. Second of all, we don't see them, because we're so into the product, and we know how it should be used, and we know how it should work, that we don't see what doesn't. And having people, and that's even with website, I regularly get people in to test my website, and I have Clarity from Microsoft, actually, which is similar to Google Analytics, but a bit easier to use. where you can see where people click, for example. There's no button and it's not going anywhere, but you can see people clicking like crazy on something, and you think like, maybe I should put a button there. So all of this is like continuous learning and listening to the customers and early on, basically. And that's really interesting. So thank you for sharing that. And good luck with it as well. I would like to share now maybe the acronym that I use to set goals, which is pretty much because I know SMART works and everything, and there's a reason why that was introduced. But I have two other aspects maybe in that formula that I use that play a role as well. And it's called achieve. And that's obviously because we want to achieve something. So I think that's quite good. And that's when you set yourself a goal. So you basically want to really phrase it. You write down a sentence of what the next goal is that you want to achieve. And that might be long-term, short-term, midterm, whatever it is, it doesn't really matter. I would say if you have a really long-term goal, so for in 3 years' time, I would always then break it down into mid and short-term goals as well, because otherwise it's just going to be out there and you don't know where to go. And by breaking it down, it really helps you as well to understand the route and to which steps to take to get there. So if we look at achieve, the A stands for as if now. So once you phrase your goal, and that has a lot to do with how the brain works as well, because the brain doesn't understand negatives. The brain doesn't understand what's fake and not fake. And this is why we can influence ourselves so much with smiling. If we feel down, if you start smiling and laughing, you feel better. If you're not confident and you do like Superman poses, all these things, pep talks to yourself in the mirror, you feel more confident. And that's because you're cheating your brain. It is really that. And that's the same if you can decide what to feed your brain, what kind of information, good or bad, all the time. And that's why gratitude journals and all of that work so well to have a happier life, let's say. However, so as if now, that means you state the goal as if it already happened. So rather than saying, I want to launch that minimum viable product, I want to launch that course, it means you say, I have launched that product. Okay, because again, you tell your brain that this has already happened, which will be a massive motivator. Then we have the C, which is the clear and specific, which is also similar. I think the M would be in SMART, the measurable, or the S also, where you have to be very specific. And again, you can use the moon cycles for that. So you can check out when it's actually the full moon, when it's a new moon, what's going to happen in that time. Or you set yourself a different date outside of that, but you set a date, an actual calendar date by when this should have happened. And then all of a sudden, the goal is not, I have launched the minimum viable product app, but it is, let's say, 31st of October, I'm just making up a date, 2023, and I have successfully launched the minimum viable product app, and I have already 15 early adopters using it, giving me feedback. Yeah, so that starts becoming more clear and specific. So you need to know how many people do you want on it, how many early adopters, by when do you want them, sometimes also who don't you want it to use. Okay, sometimes it's also excluding things, and I see a lovely cat there behind Julie as well, lovely. But who don't you want it with? Because sometimes people want to start their own business. So this is also when you set goals for starting your own business or launching a product. They don't want certain people involved because maybe they take their energy, or maybe there's not good vibes around that person. So be very clear and specific with a date, with numbers, even maybe if there's money involved, how much money you want to have made by that point of time, because that helps you to then work out, okay, how many people do I actually have? Because again, Tana, I don't know how you're going to work it, but Maybe there's a money exchange for using it, maybe not, because it's like the beta testing phase. But as soon as there's money involved, then you should be clear on how much that should be, and then you can work out how many people need to be on it and things like that. So be very clear and specific. The other thing, which is one of the most important things I would say of achieve, is it should be hittable. The H in achieve, is it actually realistic that you do that? Because if you're setting goals that are not realistic, it will demotivate you and you will not achieve them. And then you will be just like, oh, why did it not work? And things like that. Because, I mean, you can say, I want 150 new users in the next 2 weeks. That might be a bit unrealistic, but maybe not, depends. Maybe you created a big community around you already for the past few years, and they're all ready to jump on something new that you create. So be very, very realistic and double check, is that actually realistic? But not only from a market point of view, also from your point of view. Okay, what's coming up in the next phase that might keep you from achieving that goal? Because maybe you have a holiday coming up and you're not working and you forgot about that. And so that goal is not realistic, because then you won't be able to do something. Maybe there's a wedding coming up that you have to go to. I don't know, all these things that will take you out of that working environment and will slow down. These are all positive things. That sometimes there's also not positive things happening, but think about it so that it will be realistic for you to actually achieve that. And then the other thing, and that again has to do with the brain, is that you should write it in a positive direction. So rather than stating what you don't want, you should state what you want. And that happens a lot of times with people who want to start their own business, but for example, in a full-time employment, they sometimes phrase their goal around not being in that employment anymore. And that can be a big motivating factor. So don't get me wrong, there's a towards to and an away from motivation that we can talk about another time, but state the goal in a positive direction. So take the positive stuff, that what you want to achieve, rather than things that you don't want anymore. Well, we are the E, achieve. It should be exciting. If when you read your goal and it's not exciting you, it's not, oh, this is, you don't want to jump up and down the room. I don't know if you should change it or if you should see how you can make it more exciting for you to be able to achieve that. Because also me, I'm that high achiever. And if you look at personal profiling and stuff like that, I get so much stuff done. I just do. I forget about celebrating when I achieve something. I think like, okay, another book published, let's move on to the next one, because I'm just like that. I'm just constantly produce, because also I think my head's exploding if I don't with everything that's inside there. But we need to take that time, take a breath and think, I've done that. And I'm super excited. I'm super proud of myself that I've done that. And I think no matter how small or big this achievement is, that goal that you want to reach, you should celebrate and you should be excited about when you will achieve that. And that will be your motivator. Okay. So once you're excited, you will keep going, because it's never easy with anything. Let's say, I mean, if you've done certain things over and over again, but then there's usually a lot of work involved, a lot of testing, maybe something goes wrong, maybe a software doesn't work, maybe you get some feedback that you didn't expect, or something like that. And you think, oh, I need to do that again, or you forget a landing page to create a landing page for the product that you want to do. And then you think, oh, I need to do that. So be excited about that. And then the two other ones, which is the V, value-based. Okay, when you create a goal for yourself, something that you want to achieve, it should be aligned with your values. And I usually do a value exercise once a year for my personal values, and then I add something for my business values, which overlap a lot, but not all. And I can see them shifting as well. And that depends also on what's happening in life and what's happening in the world. So with the, let's call it the C word, some people call it the P word, pandemic and COVID, to not get wrong things here. But a lot of values have shifted for a lot of people. And the same for me. I made family, friends, loved ones more a priority than they were probably before, meaning spending more time intentionally with them. And so knowing your values is extremely important. And everything that you do in business should align with those values. And that's also for every goal. So once you wrote down your goal and you think, okay, it's written as if it already happened, it's very clear and specific, so I can actually see when I achieve it. Because if you're not clear and specific, you will never know once you achieved it. So if no one puts numbers in, if no one puts a date in, it's just a thing there and a feeling rather than a measurable thing, which is the measurable in SMART. Is it realistic? It's positive, it's exciting. Okay, let's see if that actually aligns with what I stand for, what I truly believe in, what is important to me. And then the last bit, and I think a lot of people forget about that, but that can have a big influence on your life, is ecological. And what that means is who is affected around you by you achieving that goal. Because obviously, for example, if you want to start your own business, there's a lot of work involved. And especially if you started as a side business, you're still full-time employed or something like that. Or let's say you want to start a business and you want to move to Australia. So let's say you live in Europe and you say, I'm going to start my business, but I'm going to be moving to Australia for that. Everyone around you will be impacted by that, of course. Friends, maybe you have a partner, family, things like that. You need to think about, okay, how's that impacting others? Are they okay with that? Are they okay with you even not moving, but maybe putting in more hours, meaning you go to less social events, let's call them? And how is that impacting the friendship? Are they okay with that? And if they're not okay with that, is that okay with you? Because sometimes someone might say, okay, no, I'm not happy that you're doing that. And you say, that's fine, you don't have to be, but I am. And that's also okay. It's not about being selfish, but it's about just having a thought around how other people are affected by you achieving that goal. So that is basically how I set goals. And it's really worth going through that exercise with things that you want to achieve, because it will help you to know when you achieve something, and it will also help you really to celebrate once you achieve that. So that would be, maybe I need to add something in there, achiever, and then the R will be for really party hard. I don't know. When you achieve that, I can't think about something now. And yeah, so that's something. So my question to you for now would be, of course, what I would like you to do, not now, but when you're in that phase as well with the moon, and when you want to start setting those intentions, really to play around with that. And it will be a bit easier the more you use it, the more you use something and rephrase your goal and rephrase and rephrase and rephrase until you have something to say, yeah, that ticks the boxes for me. But I would like to ask you, if you haven't thought of it already, how will you celebrate actually achieving what you told me? So Tana, the how many early adopters? I mean, you don't have to have all the answers now, but you said, okay, you want that launch, the minimum viable product, you want early adopters that are already using it. So I don't know if you have already specific numbers that you would like to share, but also, how will you celebrate? What will you do once you achieve that?
What comes to mind is my husband and I will just go away and celebrate, just take some time out. He's very much involved in the, what was the last one that you said? How is it going to impact relationships?
Logical. Ecological.
Ecological, yeah. So because whilst it's all me, my husband supports me in lots of other areas, so I can focus my time and energy in that space as well. So it's really going to be celebrating around going away and spending some time, maybe up the Sunshine Coast or something like that.
Yeah, lovely, lovely. And Julie, do you know how we will celebrate the next milestone?
I'm going to say, and this might trigger some people, but I'll brag about it, because I think we need to brag more about what we love and what we achieve. And that's also a very, very big acknowledgement and acceptance of what we have achieved. So when I say brag, it will be like, I'll be so excited that I'll be telling everybody, and who knows, I don't know, whatever happens, it could be going out to dinner, hanging out with a girlfriend with a glass of wine. It could be just celebrating online and letting everybody know. Getting excited about it is like celebrating.
It's good. I love that you say that as well, because a lot of people sometimes think it has to be a big thing, a big celebration. It can be also, I'm taking me time. I'm going to take a bath, and that's my celebration. Whatever is for you, that I've done that. You might want to hug yourself and say, well done, Christine, for doing that, jumping up and down the room. Maybe put your favorite song on and dance across the room. Maybe you want to go away for a nice weekend. Maybe you want to go for some drinks. Maybe you want to buy something that you thought, I deserve that now. Whatever it is, and it can vary from everything. And it's not for you to judge if that's the right way to celebrate. Oh, do I actually deserve that? I don't know. Is it big enough to celebrate? Everything that you achieve in business, and I'm saying small things, and it's not small. Let's say you put you achieve that, you scheduled your social media for the week, for the month, whatever. Amazing. Maybe you launch a new website, maybe you add a new page, maybe you do whatever it is. These are all things where you put your sweat and tears into it, hopefully not too many tears. But we all know it's not an easy journey. And this is where the community comes in as well. I mean, having a network, having a supportive community is so important in your entrepreneurial journey. So joining these tribes will help you, first of all, to always learn new things, which is great, because it sparks your creativity, and you might get inspired and get new ideas for other things. But it's just learning from each other as well, asking other people. So I usually will also in future tribe meetings, of course, this was just a little taste of what it could look like, but there will be more things happening, also depending on the specific challenges that someone might have in that moment. But it's just to learn from each other and to support each other, because we all are here. We all do amazing things. We all are amazing the way we are. And I completely agree, Julie, we should brag about, and I like that you use that word, because it has this negative connotation, but it's not, because we should tell people, I did this. Because if you believe me, if you don't tell people what you did, no one will know and no one will buy. Okay, coming back also to marketing.
Plus, I think it inspires other people as well. You know, it's
exactly.
Like, yes, this can happen. Yes, you can do this too. You know, it's real.
Yes. And I think they see your passion as well for that. And everyone who is an entrepreneur, a solopreneur, a mompreneur, a freelancer, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. These are all just titles floating around. People buy from you, and they see your passion, they understand your way, and they connect with you that way as well. And that's also maybe sharing, okay, I've done this, and you jump up and down the room. But maybe you also share, okay, it wasn't easy as well. And people might ask you, okay, how did you do that? What tool did you use for that? So if we want to get very practical, I have that all the time. How do you do that? Really? I had also lately the question, I have never used Canva before, really. How do you use that? So for all of these things, for example, I also have how-to videos because it's easier to explain things. And it's just really going through. And also in a community like this, like the Sacred you are safe to ask questions. You are in a place where no one is judging and thinking, oh, why are you asking that question? You should know this. It's not like this. I mean, the world is going mental with all kind of technologies, with new things, not even talking about artificial intelligence and all of that. And there's no stupid questions. And what I've experienced so far and see so far also here, everyone is open to share. And you won't get looked at in a strange way, and you just will be able to learn from each other. So I really would urge everyone, not just obviously to join my tribe if you can, time-wise and everything, if you want to get some really get to the grips with your business, but also join the other tribes, because there's so many studies out there as well that show that if you learn new things, and it will help you in your business. No matter if you learn about astrology, even if you think it's not linked to my business and you don't link it to your business, just learning a new skill, learning something new is opening up so many doors, creativity, creative ways to solve challenges, and always ask as well. And especially, I mean, in those two business related tribes that we have in the Sacred You, so one is mine and the other one, the Empowering Entrepreneurs one, you can specifically ask also business questions. And don't be, I say this for my tribe as well, of course, don't be ever afraid to think, oh, Christine talked about goal setting, I can't ask about this at the moment, I have to wait until she picks up the topic. It's not about this, okay? It's about being flexible. And I think everyone is like that. If someone has a question in that moment, it will be answered. And not just from an expert, oh, she's an expert in starting out, an expert in marketing. No, because I learn so much from each one of the people I meet, because they've come across other things, they've learned things, they have experience. Every day I write down new tools that someone tells me. Every day someone had a new creative solution to something. And I think that's it's such an amazing thing. So just thank you to Sophia as well for putting all her efforts and passion into the Sacred You community, and obviously all the tribe members, not even talking about the Harmony Fest, which is amazing, but in general. And then there will be lots of things happening over the Harmony Fest period. So just to let you know as well, so I'm running a masterclass, which I actually offer for free to the tribe members, which is happening tomorrow at the same time. I'm not mistaken. Now I'm going to open up my calendar just to be sure. Yes, tomorrow at the same time, basically,
right,
is exactly the marketing masterclass for soulpreneurs. And I did talk about that already in a conversation, but I just wanted to say, because it's free for tribe members. It's 90 minutes, very interactive. You get away with a workbook that you can work through afterwards as well, all kind of things. And I will be also going live twice. Once I will share the happiness formula, because it's that what I already shared in the shine the light slot that I had. But I think it's very close to my heart, and I just want to share it again, how you might be able to get happier. So that's happening an hour earlier tomorrow. So that will be 5 p.m. Australian time. And then I will have another one, so just before the masterclass, and then I have another one on Thursday again at 5 p.m. Australian time, where I share my productivity formula, which might help you as well to get a few things done. And so many amazing events over the Harmony Fest period, outside of the tribes that are happening anyway. So make sure you check out everything that's happening. But I think for today, we can wrap it up like this, but I have one final question for Julie and Tana. What's the one thing I would like you, so that's where the accountability comes in, that let's imagine we meet next week again in in my tribe, even if that might not be happening because of timings or whatever, but let's say we meet again next week. What will you tell me now that you will have done by that time to move you forward to achieve that goal that you're mentioning at the moment? So one task, I just want you to commit to one task that if I would ask you on Tuesday next week, have you done that? You will say yes. So what would that be, that one thing?
I know for me, it's going to be, I have consistently posted 2 reels and a connection post every day, and increase my reach.
Mm-hmm. On Instagram, that is?
Facebook.
On Facebook. Yeah. Okay. What's your Facebook? How can people find you?
Yeah.
Shamelessly promoting.
Yeah. So the Facebook is just Taga, TAGA.IOSE.
Okay. There you go. So that will be, so you will be every day posting 2 reels and 1 connection post.
Yes.
For the next week as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing that. And Julie?
I'm going to choose my 16 goddesses that we're going to work with, because I always have trouble choosing things because there's so many things, so many goddesses I can choose from, or whatever it might be, and it's like, oh, well, this one. So I've got to choose 16 by the end of the week, actually.
And what might help you to be able to choose 16?
I've just got excuse me, I've just got to do it. I procrastinate a lot with things like this, but when I finally decide, then I go really fast, because I'm very aware of it. I've got to learn to, contain. I don't have to do it all. Like, I don't have to do 100 goddesses. I only need to do 16.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I think that's another thing that a lot of people have, why they are procrastinating or why things don't get done, and you block yourself really from moving forward. It's because we sometimes think I have to do it all, and we have so much knowledge about what we have that we think, no, but I want to do all of this, and I want to give you all of that information, but it will be overwhelming also for people. And you know that, of course, because if you would offer 100 goddesses or hundreds, I don't know, then people would be like, just be lost. 16 is already a big number, but people can manage. So I think that could be, okay, I have to do it. And then maybe categorizing them into the different types and then choose from there, maybe the strongest ones. But I'm not too familiar with that. I just touched on that topic once in another course. So that will be exciting. Well, thank you so much for being open to be here live with me. I hope you got something out of it. I'm super excited because I learned so much, and I would love to learn more about it. And I actually, even though I wouldn't be joining live, and we can talk about that another time, but I probably would want to join your tribes just to see always the recordings. But that would be something maybe to look into. But thank you so much. And Sophia, thank you so much for making all this possible. And also the Harmony Fest, I can't wait, which is kicking off basically tomorrow.
One sleep.
I'm not that excited, but in 11 hours time. Okay, just putting all the schedules in the thingamajiggy now. In the, what do you call it, Facebook group. Thank you, Christine. This is wonderful. I'm so excited for this. I really, really, really am. So this is great. So yes, so we shall say goodbye to Facebook world, and click, for everyone who's watching the live or the replay, because we do get quite a few people watching replay, click on the link below and come and join Christine's tribe, because you can try it out just for $1. Come to 2 of her meetings for 2 weeks just for $1. And then after that, it's only 15 Australian dollars a month. But
nothing.
The bonus is not only do you get Christine's tribe, you get to join Julie's Bewitching tribe. You get to join Tanga's Soul-Led Mastery tribe, and any of our other tribes. We've got, I don't know, about 20-something, 25 tribes, all for that $1 for 2 weeks. And then $15 a month for the same price, like all the tribes, just for one payment of 15 Australian dollars a month. And there's lots of other bonuses. Hey Tiger, all our tribe hosts give their members lots of bonuses. So do click on the link below. Thank you, Christine. I look forward to next week. Yay. I really, really, really do.
Thank you so much.
All
Thank
right.
you so much, everyone.
We'll
Thanks,
say goodbye to
Julie.
Facebook.